We all want our pets to live happy, healthy lives so that we can stay with them all of our lives. We have Jim Helms here. He's the owner of Jim Helms Dog Pals in Southampton. And unfortunately, not our pet of the week. This dog is just absolutely amazing. This is Ember.
Ember, yep.
So we all want our pets to live as long as they possibly can. So your tips start out at a very early age. Let's talk about spaying and neutering.
Yep. I know the norm right now is spay and neuter as young as possible. But there's a huge amount of scientific evidence that's coming out that it's actually hurting many of our pets. I mean, just cardiac tumors alone, they're saying 4 to 5 times more likely a female spayed at an early age is going to become or get some sort of cardiac tumor. I mean, there's problems with hip dysplasia, ACL injuries, different types of even just your normal disease processes because it affects their immune system the way we actually spay and neuter and give our vaccines right now.
So it's definitely something to look into going forward. And speaking of vaccines, that's our next point. You say be a little cautious when it comes to vaccines.
Yep. Even the newest recommendations out there say at a minimum you should be vaccinating every 3 years. So once they get their core vaccines, and I truly believe that all dogs need to get their core vaccines at an early age, once they get those, most of those vaccines have now been proven to last the lifetime of your dog. And so even the AVMA is saying 3 years or more for vaccines. And what we actually recommend now is you should actually do titers with your dogs, which is actually a blood test to actually show that they have the immune and they don't need that vaccinations. And I think that's actually, I mean, I'm seeing places like I think it's CVS. I mean, they're giving vaccines. I mean, people need to see their vet first, not just walk in and get a vaccine because it's cheap at some store.
But it's definitely worth doing our research because one of those things, if you get the right vaccine, it can save you so much going forward.
Right.
That you never know. And next up, and we're looking at it right now, how important is it for our dogs to get exercise and what qualifies as exercise?
I mean, anything is better than nothing. Walking your dog down the street is good. I mean, it's better than sitting around the house or running in the backyard just doing circles. But dogs really need to be able to run and stretch their legs. So bringing them somewhere, even if you have to have that long leash, a 50-foot leash, so that they can literally run and stretch their legs. I actually believe that dogs need to be able to run off-leash. But doing something, even doing a simple tricks, take a tricks class like a Dakin, they offer a tricks class. If you're on that, it's cold, it's windy, it's raining, I mean, you can actually do different types of tricks with your dogs that actually basically build their core strength, and it also helps build their mental strength as well.
And so just your morning walk isn't good enough?
It's not good enough. Right, I mean, it's just not.
We need more than our morning walk if we want to stay healthy, so obviously our pets do too. Next tip, also true for humans, which I think all of these are pretty much true for us and our friends down here. Feed the best food that you can afford.
Yes. I mean, most people don't understand right now, and there's, again, everything that I tell people is based on as much scientific evidence as I can. They still need a lot more studies. But actually just feeding dry dog food is actually harming our pets. Feeding wet food is much better than feeding dry. You just talked about kidney problems. 1 in 10 of our dogs in their lifetime are probably going to have kidney problems. And they believe part of that is related to feeding dry dog food. Because of the fact that to digest that food, the body is taking all the water from the rest of the body, bringing it to the stomach to digest the food, and so the rest of the body is actually being dehydrated. So feeding wet food is much better than dry food. And
there's so many different options that you can do, but also it's important that you do your research before you start feeding any food you want, because dogs have dietary restrictions and things that are important that they get a certain daily amount of. So we need to do our research first. Next thing, got to keep our pets' mouths healthy. We brush our teeth, we got to brush our dogs' teeth.
The 2 things that I tell people in our pet first
and this dog, by the way, is very excited about dental hygiene.
Yeah, he's cute.
He's so excited. And he has an electric toothbrush. How he got it, I don't know.
But the 2 things that probably the easiest way for people to actually help their dogs live longer, we just started talking about nutrition, but keeping them at a healthy weight can actually help them live up to 2 years longer.
Really?
And keeping their mouth healthy can actually help them live up to 30% longer.
Now, healthy weight, how do we determine that?
Easiest way is feeling their ribs. If you can feel their ribs, that's generally a good way of knowing that the dog's healthy.
It's a good way for us, too, to know like, if I've been packing on a few extra
pounds. If you can't feel their ribs, and actually you want to keep them on the skinny side. I mean, there was a Purina study that was done, and it was a very well-done study, shows that not only will the dog live up to 2 years longer, if they were prone to hip dysplasia or some other type of old age disease, it will actually get pushed back further in life. It won't necessarily stop them from getting it.
Yeah, but it might slow it down.
It might slow it down.
On its onset. Lastly, do yourself a favor, do your family a favor, take a pet first aid class.
Yes. I mean, it's one of the best ways of what happens if your dog gets injured. And if you take a good first aid, like it's going to get into a little bit about the nutrition and a little bit about how you can actually help them live longer. And even on the nutrition class, we have a class in September that Dakin is offering that actually goes into the different ways of feeding, different types of food, and how to help keep your dog healthier.
And I think that translates to us too. I think all adults should know CPR. You know, we should all know the Heimlich maneuver. There's so many things that we need to learn so that we can keep us and dogs like Ember safe. A great dog. Thank you so much, Jim, for sharing these tips with us. We have them here. We also have them on our website, mymassappeal.com, and head on